Hello, hello. Welcome to Liminal Alchemy. I'm Allison. I like to read the tarot. And I really want to open up this space and have a little bit more fun with it. It's like sometimes things just feel really heavy. But I also know that is kind of just a part of my energy. I'm a Capricorn, so I mean, you know. Yeah. I'm just gonna see what happens, and we're gonna see what the message is. I'm not going into this with any preconceived things in my head. I'm stating that, so I'm releasing it. All of my own stuff going on. And let's see what story we can put together and how we can interpret the cards for you today. Yeah, I just feel more comfortable at this angle. I want you to be able to see the cards because ultimately reading the tarot online, it's a really nice way to learn how to read the tarot. And I want you to, this isn't even, like, you can't even see the cards. Well, whatever. You're not getting my whole face this morning. It's one of those days. This is interesting. So far we have the Ten of Cups in reverse, the Three of Pentacles, the Five of Swords in reverse, and the Hanged Man in reverse. I'm seeing where there are some people who are not cooperating. It's almost like, I'm just going to be straightforward with what the energy is, okay? It's like, I can't feel good about this. I can't feel like this is what I want until everybody is doing exactly as I say. The Hanged Man is Pisces energy in reverse. It is also kind of coming across as a little bit stubborn, not wanting to move from this spot. It's like I've found some sort of a mental clarity right here, but I'm afraid that if I leave this space, then I won't have that anymore. And it's a disappointing. It's like in some sort of a relationship, probably relating to work or something that you do creatively, like you create something here, like in matter, with matter. You're touching things, you're painting, you're sewing, you're knitting, something like that, but it's like a collaboration with people. And you feel like this should fit. This should feel perfect. Like, it makes sense. This could be so great. And then there's some ego that gets involved. And it's not one-sided. It's all sides. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow, that we are contributors to the dysfunction that we're experiencing. But I think also this Hanged Man is indicating that you've probably been in a place of contemplation over this. The Hanged Man gives us space to perceive things from a different perspective. He's upside down, right? So he's chilling well, this is how the card is typically. He's upside down, which is giving him a different perspective, which is enlightening his mind of something he was unaware of before. With it in reverse, it's like he's seen what he needs to see, and now he needs to figure out how to get down from the tree. Because he's upright. He's no longer hanging upside down. And this is just how I'm seeing it in this. Sometimes the tarot is a multifaceted thing. So when you're reading it, you have to realize that and trust in the messages that you're getting from the cards at the time you're getting them, because sometimes you read it and it's going to be a little bit different. It will have the same essential meaning, but it's going to pull on and kind of like inspire different thoughts and memories and ways of association with the cards in your life. It's just different at different times. So if we're looking at that, that's also telling us that we need to be open-minded in the situation. So just because collaborations in the past have let us feel defeated and kind of like totally at a loss for how we'll ever be happy in some sort of a when creating with other. So I think that you're hyper independent because of the past experiences of, I don't know, kind of just clashing will, clashing ideas. It's like you haven't been able to get on the same page as other people or something. Like every time you think that it's going to be like, oh, this is such a good thing, like we're going to create such a good thing, it kind of turns into this like explosion, and then everybody's walking away like, okay, what do we do now? And I think the reason this is in reverse, excuse me, you never want to focus on my face, and now you want to focus on my face? With this being in reverse, I feel like this is a cycle that you're kind of coming out of, but a pattern that is still present. And so the Hanged Man is a good energy to close out that cycle, because it gives you space to process the past and kind of leave that there. And then we're moving forward. We got the Knight of Wands. And he's feisty. He's ready to go. He is excited for adventure always. He's literally the epitome of like spontaneity and let's go get this done. He's confident, probably overly confident, too confident. Okay. Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up. I'm ready to go. The Fool. In reverse. The Devil. And the Five of Pentacles. Okay, well, immediately limiting beliefs. So it's like you get all excited to take a leap of faith. And then there's all these things that are sounding a lot like, well, I can't do that because I don't have this. Well, I'll never get there because I don't have a way to get there. I don't know how that's going to happen. It's impossible. I don't know how this will ever work out, or I am unable to change. I'm stuck. I am in some capacity tied to something that is enabling me to continue to believe that I am in lack, that I am unsupported. It's like we get excited, we're ready to go, nothing's gonna stop us, let's go, let's jump, wait. As soon as we take the leap, we're questioning everything. Have I just made the biggest mistake of my life? What am I doing? And so how does this relate to that? Maybe this is you going out on your own, but you don't think that you can. You don't think that you have enough, or that you in some way feel like you rely on something else outside of yourself for your security, for your, financial stability, for your confidence. It's an internal, it is self-security. It's like, well, if I can't change these people, then I'm always going to be in some sort of a lack situation. But it's presenting itself as limiting beliefs. It's like, as soon as you get excited, you go really fast, you take the leap of faith in whatever this is. But I think it's relating to work, collaboration, except it's almost like you realize that maybe this is something you're gonna have to go at alone. And this is great and inspiring for you for a minute, and then as soon as you're kind of out there free floating alone, or kind of like you've taken the path that no one really can follow you on, you have to trust and go. It's only the path that you've been called on, and trying to rely on anyone else to validate that, show up for that, is placing a limiting belief of that there is a lack in you or in the universe itself, like that you're not going to be met there. It's like you have a belief that you have to fight really hard for some sort of emotional fulfillment in work or in creation. You have to work hard for your ability to be human, your existence. And I mean, that's true. Existence is work to me. It is not the easiest work, that is for sure. But it's not all work. And the work that I'm talking about feels good. It's not the work that is draining and self-sacrificial. It's rewarding and enabling like confident movement forward. And you're also kind of creating a path. I'm hearing a path of least resistance. So if other people are constantly like kind of making you feel defeated in whatever way, this could be totally unconscious to them, just in regular conversation, sometimes things get said and it feels like a jab. It's neither here nor there. Like, it doesn't really have to affect you. You're going to continue moving forward anyways. And it's just like with this fear of lack, fear that you're not going to have enough, fear that you're not going to be taken care of or supported or secure. You're not going to have food to eat. You're not going to have warm clothes to wear. You're going to have medical things, and you're not going to have a way to pay for them. And the money is always going to be right there on the other side of the wall, and you've got to keep going and just, but it's almost like the energy is like you're in the air. You are changing your perspective right now. It seems like you go through these spurts of kind of feeling like you're really going slow, and then having these bursts of energy where you kind of do something that is unexpected of you. And you could feel like this is like your flaw, or you can transform it into kind of learning how to work with it. Whenever you do experience these pops of energy where you're like, okay, I'm ready to make a change, have you been contemplating and receiving what you need as far as clarity of your own mind, so that whenever other people's opinions and whatever come in the mix, you're sturdy in where you are? And also, have you been paying attention to the direction that is going to bring you fulfillment? Are you taking every single experience that is uncomfortable and kind of feels like a clashing of energy, and using that to propel you forward? Which I think you are, because you have the Hanged Man and then the Knight of Wands. So it's almost like I'm staying still until I can understand what this is, and now, boom, I'm out of there. But let's get a few more. I don't know where I want to lay them. Let's talk about this Five of Pentacles, Devil, the Fool in reverse energy. Yeah, so this is about allowing things to change. I pulled the Four of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups. And honestly, with these, I got this feeling of like, oh no, I'm going to have to let go, and I'm going to have to leave something behind, and it's going to hurt. It's like this person is holding on to their security and their comfort for dear life. Like, it's on their head, it's in front of their heart, it's at their feet. They protect their worth and value to an extreme degree, to a degree of cutting off everybody else. And this is walking away and moving into something different. It feels like you've had enough to drink of all of these other things, and you don't know when you're going to have another drink. Honestly, I'm just being honest. Because you're leaving all of these behind. But it feels like this guy is a traveler. He's traveling because that's what he was made to do. There's something about the ability to change perspectives for you. It inspires you. Whenever you have an opportunity to change something about your mindset, something about the way that you're experiencing things, it's bringing an excitement for what small changes create, almost. I don't know. Walking away from things in your life. This does not have to be people. I mean, this doesn't have to be walking away from people. It means walking away from the things that we go to fill us up. And instead, they only fill us, leaving more empty. Or like there's never enough. And I think we're seeking that grail of what fills ourself up, what fills our heart up, what fills our mind up. How can we know that that's always there? I think you're in a place of extreme questioning. How can we know? How can we know? I'm not going to open up until I know that everything is going to be, that what I'm leaving behind is kind of worth leaving behind. There's an element, there's no trust. So this is asking you to have big trust, and it's so easy to feed into the fear of the illusion, the conditioning that we are disempowered beings, unintelligent beings. But that's not true. It's just not true. We all individually have our own calling and path that we're on, and we have this desire to move forward and this excitement. Where does it come from? I don't know. But when we're doing what we love, when we're going to the well of water that is nourishing to us, and we're not seeking that from other people or anything outside of ourselves, it's like we realize, there's something about realizing the water is everywhere, because everywhere you go, you're kind of expressing that energy. An overflow opening up allows you to let more in. Letting go allows you to experience something new. He's going on and he's going to see different things. And they're not going to look exactly the same, and they're not going to feel exactly the same. But if he was going to hold on to these forever, then he would never experience anything new. And his whole thing is that he likes to travel and change and see his environment change. And how do you know what you don't know? You just have an inkling. It's like when you're not satisfied. Why are you not satisfied? Well, sometimes you don't even know. Whoops, sorry. You don't even know why you're not satisfied. It's just, it's not fulfilling. It's not that it's not right. It's not that anybody is wrong. 5 of Swords in reverse. It's just that we are all on our own individual journey. And if something doesn't work out in work, collaboration, in relationship, with things, with substances, with any kind of relationship that we have to ourself, it's an opportunity for growth and change, and realizing our power is in letting go. And it's not necessarily this big action that you have to take, because then you run the risk of jumping off the cliff, feeling like you're flailing, and like sometimes the Fool is perfect, exactly what we need. Sometimes the Fool leaves us feeling too vulnerable and we slide backwards a little bit, into the devil, into the 5 of Pentacles, into all of the fears that, oh my gosh, what have I done? I felt like that whenever I decided to leave my ex-husband. I remember that first night where I finally made the decision, like, this is it, we're getting divorced. And I went to my best friend's house, and I just had this overwhelming pit in my stomach, as like of emptiness and of like, what have I done? And like, there's no going back, and I don't know what lies before me, but I know that it's gotta feel better than what I'm leaving behind. And this empty space, this like space, feels really uncomfortable, really, really uncomfortable. But the more pressure I felt, the more I tried to lean into faith, lean into the idea, the possibility that it could be okay. And it was. So, yeah, That's it. That's where I'm gonna leave the reading. Lean into faith. If there are things, collaborate, whatever. You know, I've just read, but that felt good. I mean, it wasn't necessarily an uplifting story, but I don't know. I just have to get comfortable with the way that I read and I guess who I am as a person. And knowing that, like, is it ever gonna be like light fairy dust? Probably not. I've got too much devil energy in me. But bless you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.